everybody, welcome back to my small engine repair channel. If you watched my last video, you saw that I worked on a demo saw, and yeah, here it is in pieces. Piston and rings and cylinder scored really bad. End up talking to the customer and he's not going to fix it, so we're just going to scrap that. But today we're working on a Husqvarna riding lawnmower. Customer kind of indicated that maybe gas had sat in it for a bit. It's not starting. They did some troubleshooting on their own. They put in a new fuel pump, gas line, spark plugs, things like that, and still can't get it to start. So we're just gonna do a general service on it, get it running, make sure it starts, and all the functions work the way that it should. And then also we got a Predator 3500 inverter. It runs, it puts out power, but customer is stating that once it runs for a bit on the ground around it, it starts puddling up like some kind of liquid. He wasn't sure what it was, so while we're working on the Husqvarna, we'll let the generator run and we'll go from there. Okay, that's a pretty good indicator that something is going on carburetor related. So what he mentioned, old gas sitting in it and him replacing fuel lines, tells me probably something is gunked up in the carburetor. So let's pull the carburetor out. Let's clean it up. Carburetor clean, put back together. But you can see I don't have the fuel line hooked up. Actually, I have the fuel line going into this jar. You can see the gas coming out of it. It's pretty gnarly. This thing definitely sat in the sun. I mean, we can tell by the seat, but there's a vent hose here that runs the length and it comes out back up here. I found this, so I gotta figure out where that goes, if it's significant or not. But while I've been working on it, like I opened the gas cap and it's so dry rotted, the piece that holds it on there so you don't lose it broke. I can't get it back on there. The fuel pickup, the rubber piece here is done. I can look down in there and I can see old gas. What else did I find? Yeah, here's the deck. Took that out. You can see the belt is starting to shred, so I'm going to recommend that we replace both belts. So the deck belt, and then up underneath here is the drive belt. That's going to need to be replaced too. Other than that, I'm going to pull the belt off the mower deck and check the spindles, see if there's any play in them. But before we can even continue on with this, we got to put in an order for some parts. It also needs an oil change. You can see right down here, the oil filter is looks gnarly from the outside. So who knows how long it's been ran without the oil change. So I'm gonna put in an order. So you'll see that. To see the riding mower, it'll come up in another video when I get the parts and we continue to work on it. All right, so we let the generator run and it runs fine. And I don't have any puddles on my ground underneath it, but I can see that there is a lot of oil residue in the bottom. And that is actually pretty common on these because the drain plug, you know, is right there. So when you drain it, the oil always doesn't go right where you want it to go. And it gets in here and it pulls up. So you try to clean it up the best you can. I asked the customer if they had recently changed the oil, and he said no, but he had recently tightened the drain plug. So my thought is that drain plug was not tight. So it's in here flopping oil around. And then of course, when he runs it, it leaves a puddle on the ground. So I ran it for a good 15 minutes and it's been sitting there for a half hour and I don't have a puddle. So I'm pretty confident that just that drain bolt was probably loose and the customer was just still experiencing that residual that was, you know, just leaking out of there and causing it to look like it was leaking. So really nothing to do on that one. So move on to the next job. All right, up next is a Champion generator. As a repeat customer of mine, he called me up and he's like, I need it by Friday. We're going hunting. They left gas in it. We discussed and we're pretty sure that the carburetor is gunked up. So I'm just gonna pull this air filter off and pull the carburetor, clean it. Should be able to put it back together and have it running. Put back together. Battery on. Start. So just another job where the carburetor just needed to be cleaned. There actually wasn't too much gas sitting in it, but I noticed the needle was stuck and there was a bunch of green old gas on it. So I don't think just any gas was getting in, but like I said, it needed to be cleaned. All right, well, that's a wrap on this video. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. If you like my content, click that like button. Please consider subscribing and I'll see you in the next video.